Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Historical Gamer once again. It's been a while since we've looked at Crusader Kings II, and there's a new expansion out for it. It came out, I think, about week and a half, 2 weeks ago, called Crusader Kings II, The Sword of Islam, and that's what we're going to be looking at here today. I've already reviewed the game itself, so I'm going to shy away from things that are the same, which is the majority of the stuff in here. And just kind of focus on some of the new things in this video. So let's get going. So we're going to start a single-player map. In the past, we're going to pick the opening and start date, which is 1066. We will select independent realms. Or sorry, no, I want to go with kings. Now, in the past, if you wanted to try and select a Muslim country, you could be any Christian country, but if you wanted to select a Muslim country, it would say something along the lines of what it does when you highlight the papacy here, where it says you're not allowed to play as theocrats, so you can't play as a country that's run by theocrats. In the past, it would say not allowed to play as Muslim kingdoms. It wasn't part of the game. You had to be a Christian state in order to play. So now, with this expansion, it opens up quite a few. You still can't play as the pagans, so like the Cumans, you can't play as them, but it opens up Kiev, Persia, Egypt, Nubia, although, actually, wait a minute, Nubia might be Christian. Yeah, Nubia is Christian. But it opens up Egypt, Persia, Kiev, as well as a lot of the duchies and dukedoms, Azerbaijan, I know, is in here, and several others. But as far as the kingdoms, it opens up these 3 new kingdoms over here. It also opens up the kingdom of basically the Morocco area. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. And the African kingdom, I guess, if you will. So it opens up about 5 new kingdoms and a whole bunch more duchies and dukedoms and counts, and you see all these other ones in here. And but essentially, yeah, I mean, it opens up quite a few more kingdoms for play, and that's exciting because I really enjoy the original Crusader Kings. Like I said, I haven't touched it in a while, but it's something I want to revisit, kind of look at some of the things that are different. So we're going to take over the small African republic, or not republic, but the African kingdom of. Or I guess it's called the Sultanate, because you play as a sultan instead of a king. But of Tarman I of Zirid Sultanate. So we're going to go ahead and get going here. Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of style of play. It's all very, the rules in the game and everything are the same. You still, get going by picking an ambition. You could be, I believe all the ambitions are the same. But we'll go ahead and just, pick some there. Now, the biggest differences that I've noticed, first of all, what's the same? Well, pretty much everything's the same. There's some different names for things. So the Grand Bazaar instead of the Grand, I can't remember what the name of it was called. Instead of, a marshal is still a marshal, a steward still a steward, spy master still a spy master. Instead of a chief bishop or priest, you have an imam, which is obviously the Islamic equivalent. Although one of the big differences here is you are not allowed to change your imam. Unless you're a ruler of a Muslim kingdom who's not actually Muslim, you're not allowed to change your imam. That is assigned to you, and it's not something you can change. So that is definitely a big difference. I wish I knew exactly what that was called. But anyway, so here I am. I'm ruling this small kingdom. One of the things in diplomacy that's a little bit different is you can still declare war, still offer vassalization. Now, you do have to have at least 50 prestige to attack another Islamic kingdom, and you lose prestige and piety if you are fighting an Islamic kingdom. So you get penalized, just like you'd get penalized for fighting a Christian kingdom if you were a Christian king. So yeah, as far as decisions, we're going to skip this because I think that's the biggest change. We're going to come back to that. Now, as far as buildings and whatnot, when you actually build things, It's similar. I mean, there's some slight changes. Obviously, you're not going to build a church. You might build a mosque or other things like that. So there's some subtle differences, kind of differences on the surface, but really the gameplay is fundamentally the same. Still a very, very good game. The laws are different, so you can adjust crown authority as well, but the way that feudal levies and whatnot seem to interact is a little bit different. But fundamentally they're the same, just slight differences, nuances that you'll pick up. Same for technology, no real changes there. The mercenaries that you hire, some of them are the same. The Arab company and Berber company were the same, but some of them are different. The Bedouin company, I believe, is new. The Mamelukes were not new, but the Maghreb Navy are. So a lot of the mercenary units are different. Diplomacy is still primarily the same. One thing you will notice, quick refresher if you haven't played this game, your score depends on three things: your wealth, your prestige, and your piety. So how religious you are, how wealthy you are, and how prestigious you are. Now, basically, the more built up your colonies, the more money you make. Or not colonies, but territories. The bigger your empire, the more people who are your vassals, and the more success and various things that you have, the more quickly your prestige grows, and your piety is your relationship with the church. Now, one thing to keep in mind that's very different here: as a Christian ruler, you have one wife. As a Muslim ruler, this is something that is different, obviously. If you have fewer than 4 wives, because polygamy back during this time was very common, you actually get a prestige penalty. So if you don't have enough wives, and as of right now I am unmarried, you will actually get penalized. And that's a very different thing in this, and it adds a whole new dynamic to the way relationships occur inside your royal family. Because now you don't have one wife who might be vying for power. You might have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 wives who are all vying for power. And maybe one of them wants to be your primary wife, because there is one primary wife and the rest are secondary. Kind of have a court within your wife. Within your family here, you have a court in addition to your court. So go ahead, we will present debutant. We're going to go ahead and invite 4 people to my court. I don't want them to be married. I don't care gender, I want them to be women. Okay. Well, here are the people I believe I just invited to my realm. They all have different traits and things like that, so those are important when you're considering if you want to, marry someone, are their traits. But we'll just go ahead and see if she wants to marry me. Oh, yay. She looked like a pretty intelligent person, a lot of positive traits. You want to try and keep mostly positive, so that is something you do want to, remember and consider. Let's see. That's one thing I want to get checked off real quick, is just making sure that my realm isn't penalized. So as you see, I got married, fulfilled my ambition. And my prestige is now not penalized by 4 because I don't have 0 wives, but it is still penalized by 3 because I don't have 4 wives still. So, what do we want to say my next ambition will be? Stupid plots. Prestige 1,000, piety 500, wealth 500. We'll go with amass wealth. So now we're going to go back here. I believe some of these people I invited to my court recently. This looks like a good one. She likes me. Her relationship, she has a 48 out of 100 opinion of me. She's content. She's a mastermind theologian. She's a poet. Deceitful, which, as you see, each one of these traits has different influences on their personality. Overall, she seems pretty solid. So we'll go ahead and arrange marriage and ask her to marry me. Let's see who else was here. She does not have a positive opinion of me. She's a dutiful clerk, a falconer, a craven, which is bad, kind, which is okay, deceitful, which is okay, paranoid, which is pretty bad, but leads to intrigue if you like that. And we're not going to have her be a general, but that's okay, because I just want her to marry me. So we're going to have my third proposal. And let's see if she wants to marry me. Okay, so we've proposed to multiple people now. Now, if you look at my family here, this is my primary wife. These are my secondary wives. So apparently they've all agreed to propose to me. So now I have 4 wives, 3 secondary wives. This is my primary wife. Essentially, the primary wife's kids are the ones who will become your heirs. I already have a son. Must have been from a prior wife who must already be dead. Or somehow I just gave birth without a daughter. That's unusual. Anyway, so there you see, that's one big difference. It is going to influence a lot of things in game that we don't necessarily see here right off the bat, because there is so much intrigue that's involved in managing families and things like that. Now that I did get that taken care of, you see I'm no longer getting penalized on my prestige, and I'm actually starting to grow my prestige instead of having it shrink. The Dempsey size, so the size of your realm, is still important. You don't want to hold too much land yourself. If you do, you get penalized. So you can, grant kingdoms and kingdoms and dukedoms and fiefdoms to your secondary commanders, to make them content and make your people happy that you don't have too much personal wealth or too much personal whatever. One different thing here is the decadence level. That is something where, if you look here, that I don't believe that is on the old one. It reads, adult Muslim men of the dynasty increase decadence depending on the rank and total amount of titles controlled by the whole dynasty. Decadence affects tax income from the Dempseys, the moral damage that demise levies take in battle. Ways to halt or decrease decadence include granting landed titles to dynasty members, a smaller Dempseys for the dynasty head, and imprisoning, banishing, or killing decadent dynasty members. So if you have people who are gluttonous, not religious, or other things like that, that will increase your decadence level. That's definitely something new. I don't know if I'd say it's historically accurate, but there is this perception, I would say, of this age of sultans having, courts and being somewhat decadent and having, numerous wives and things like that. I'm not sure the Christian kings were any better, but so one of my wives is pregnant. That gives me 5 prestige. That's nice. That's also a quicker way to build prestige because you can have more wives, more kids. So here's the biggest difference, I think, personally. Other than obviously the fact that you're now ruling the Islamic states, is the decisions. So you can hold a tournament, which is basically, it's an Islamic tournament. So that's a difference here. You can also go on pilgrimage to Mecca. I'm going to do that in a moment. And you can observe Ramadan. So these are things that are particular to the Islamic faith. I believe in the Christian version you can go on pilgrimage to the Holy Land. So it'd be similar to that for Mecca. That's the pilgrimage to the Holy Land for Islam. You can give a voluntary charity to the caliph, which is the head of the Islamic Church, kind of like the Pope. At least in this game, that's how he functions. Theoretically, he's the leader of all Muslims, but by this point in history, there is no really caliph, emperor, or kingdom. It is now a caliph who is more of a church head than anything. So we'll go ahead and we'll give a voluntary charity there. We'll go ahead and observe. Well, we can't observe Ramadan. That's a holy month in Islamic culture where you fast during the day and eat after the day. Okay, you still get calls to arms, so your allies still ask you to come join them in battle. So I will take that. Can't observe Ramadan, but what we will do is we will... Oh, I can't be at war, can I? God damn it. Well, now I'm at war. Now the war's over. What the heck? Okay, that was bizarre. Anyway, that was the shortest war in the history of wars, I guess. How the heck did that... Oh, God, that's bizarre. Anyway, so we're going to go on a pilgrimage to Mecca now. Hopefully I gain some prestige. And piety is probably the bigger thing. So we're going to go on a pilgrimage to the Holy Lands of Islam. And it should take us through a series of different trials, tribulations, and choices or whatnot that'll come up. Why don't we speed this up a bit? So now I've prepared for Mecca. And my regent will be Zird Sultan. My regent... There will be a ruling regent. So this is just saying that there will be a regent who rules in my stead. So my wife, my first wife, will be ruling the kingdom while I am gone. You can still make decisions and command it. So basically you're playing the role of your wife now as well as your leader. So there's a mighty storm. Tossed over. And I'm tossed over where it sinks beneath the waves. Small desert island, person of rank, it falls on you to distribute what little food you have left. So you can share the food evenly, or you can get a greater share for yourself. Sharing the food evenly seems like a good idea. So I lose a little bit of health, but I gain piety, because obviously that was the good and charitable thing to do, so Allah would smile on me. So you get these different types of challenges on your way there. My colleague's camel collapsed. I could take turns, but that would slow us down. And it could hurt my health a bit more, so I could either gain piety or lose health or lose piety. I'll go ahead and gain the piety. So there we go. As we stop for camp one evening, we notice an old man, poor in clothing. It's kind of like an old pilgrimage in the Bible tales. Should we be a good Samaritan? Let us give him a little bit of gold and listen to him. I'm not quite sure why I'm going to be gaining the trait of envious. I guess I don't understand that. Mecca now, so now I am in Mecca. So this decision says basically, and these kind of choices go through the whole thing. For example, I don't want to ruin everything, but these kind of choices go throughout the whole thing. And it takes a while before you get back. But I've obviously gained quite a bit of piety on my journey here. Started at well under 100, and because I've chosen the good and virtuous things, I'm well, actually very close to 200 now, which is a nice thing, especially if I want to go to war, which I will be shortly, hopefully. That's my goal. So I'm back. I wonder, I'm not sure if you can die. I've only done this twice, so, and the Regency's over when you get back. I've only done it twice, so I'm honestly not 100% sure if you can. But as it stands, you obviously can get injured, because I was. They don't want to become vassals, so I want to wage a war on them. If you actually look at my de jure kingdoms, which, as we said in the previous one, means the kingdom that you would rule if you could rule everything. This is part of my de jure kingdom. I guess all of this is. Yeah, anyway, all that is theoretically mine. So I am going to go to war. I guess I didn't realize I can only attack one. I thought I could put a claim on the whole thing. Well, let's cut them off from the sea. Yeah, I guess I can only do one. But anyway. So we're at war. Let's slow things down a bit. First of all, you still need to have guardians for children, so you still need to appoint someone to educate them. I want him to be a good general, so... my wife will make a good guardian. Anyway, so now we need to raise the military. Same kind of rules as far as that's concerned. I mean, essentially the military aspects of this game haven't changed at all. We can call in allies. They won't always listen to you, especially when they're allied, or when you're especially when your force is, I guess, not any friendlier with if they're friends basically with the people you're going to war with. Okay, so my allies are coming to war with me. That's a good thing. Should make it easier. I don't really have any money to raise mercenaries, so this is going to be a very close fight. Hopefully I am triumphant. There we go. Combat is the same as in previous games. Can view the battles, but there really is more of a, I mean, it's not a huge battle. There is some little traits that are added. It tells you how many men you lost the day before on each flank, kind of gives you a better idea, gives you some modifiers. There's definitely some information in this screen that was added since previous versions of the game. Doesn't look like I'm doing very good in this battle. Which ones are mine? So I'm definitely losing this fight. Call up any more troops? No. It's close, but I am losing, and it's kind of turning against me now. So let's see if we can try and retreat. Well, my steward died in battle. That's lovely. Well, let's just appoint him. Anyway, basically that's kind of just talking it out enough. That's the general gist of this game. It's not a very big difference, but it's definitely nice because it adds a lot of features to the game that were not there before. So it's definitely not features. Sorry, a lot of kingdoms, a lot more you know, choices and options as far as countries that you want to rule, and you know, add some interesting elements. Ramadan kind of works the same way that the pilgrimage does. During certain months of the year, you can observe Ramadan, and then you're faced with various choices and challenges which can affect your prestige and piety, and obviously then your score. I surrendered, but I'm not quite sure what I exactly surrendered. I assume I paid them a bunch of money, but anyway, so this was just kind of a look at the new features and aspects of Crusader Kings II. If it's something that you like, I may do another one, maybe a little bit more structured. I will admit this was a fairly on the cuff. I looked at it once, played it really briefly, went ahead and did a review. So definitely a different, I guess, a revisitation of a game I've already done based off an expansion that came out. If you like this, hit the like and subscribe button. Other than that, this is really the same game as before. It's just now you're in charge of different types of kingdoms, and there's a few different choices and things, but other than that, it's essentially the same game. So, like I said, if you like this, hit like, subscribe, follow, yeah, that's it. You have a nice day.